Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where we get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news financial markets are lower today on fears of US growth underperformance and of Chinese growth from SARS II. But first up today, we had another dairy auction and prices rose for a second time in a row, up 1.7% in US dollar terms and 1.9% in New Zealand dollar terms. Among the key commodities offered, skim milk powder was barely changed, up just 0.7%, but whole milk powder gained a bit more, up 2.5% today. Volumes offered were unremarkable, however. Today's event won't be changing any farm payout forecasts. Following large falls in Asia yesterday, European equity markets were also lower overnight, and Wall Street is back from its long weekend lower as well. Yesterday's gloomy IMF forecasts, especially for the US, and worries about what the coronavirus outbreak in China are bringing, are weighing on market sentiment. Markets remember the impact SARS had on China last time. The Wuhan virus outbreak is spreading with hundreds now infected. It has also been reported in South Korea, in Thailand, and now the Philippines. China's Spring Festival holiday travel could easily be a catalyst for rapid spread. These risks saw Shanghai equity markets fall yesterday 1.4% and Hong Kong fell 2.8%. And in Taiwan, they reported GDP growth of an impressive 3.4% in the fourth quarter of 2019, taking the overall 2019 rise to 2.7% and far better than most of its Asian rivals. In Europe, the ZEW sentiment survey has brought a surprisingly large positive rise, far above what analysts were expecting. This builds on a quite remarkable turnaround since September and is now its most positive in almost 10 years. The Phase 1 trade deal between the US and China is getting the credit. Sentiment may be improving sharply, but EU economic growth prospects are not, and they're not expected to rise in any dramatic way. France has planned to make mainly American tech giants pay a 3% revenue tax on their business operations in the country. It's been put back to the end of the year while the matter is under negotiation with the US. That may mean that France will not go it alone and come back under the OECD BEPS proposals. The US has also agreed to hold back on any retaliation on France. In Australia, BHP is saying that bushfire smoke is slowing production at its thermal coal mines. The poor air quality is making equipment harder to operate, and some workers have had to take leave to fight the fires. The irony was not lost on many in Australia. US Treasury 10-year yield is much lower today after the long US holiday weekend at just under 1.78%, and that's down 5 basis points. Gold is now at $1,557 an ounce. That's up $4 from this time yesterday. And US oil prices are unchanged at $58.50 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is lower at $64.70 a barrel. The Kiwi dollar is little changed at just on 66.1 US cents. On the cross rates, were a little firmer at 96.4 Australian cents, and against the euro were unchanged at 59.6 euro cents. That puts our trade-weighted index at 71.4. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.